Now we would be discussing how to do a mountain which is a low poly design. Creating objects in a low poly design is a quite simple process. First, open the elastic cube, you get this view. You can find a cube, a camera and a light source. Now change the blender render to cycles render. If you hit the B key, it's going to select a particular area. So select such that all the objects which we discussed before, that is the camera, the cube and the light source, are covered by the selected area. Now remove the all items which are not required for us. In this case we don't require any of these three objects. So after selecting it, press delete or press on the X button. Then it poses a prompt like as you can see in the screen. If you want to delete these items, then put an OK. The next step what we're gonna do is like we are going to add a mesh. The add toolbar which has been dropped down now can be found or can be obtained by pressing Shift A. Now add a mesh which is a plane as shown in the figure. Now you can see how the mesh is being added. After adding the mesh, try to resize the mesh so that you could get the appropriate area on which you could implement your design. You can change the dimension of the mesh by clicking on the S button on your keyboard. The basic operation we are doing here is scaling. Now you can change the view of your mesh. Now after changing the view of your mesh to the top mode and setting it to the orthogonal, if you press tab, the whole plane is going to be selected. Plane in the sense like the mesh we have placed it before. This indicates that it's in edit mode. You can toggle with the tab button in order to switch from edit to non-edit mode. Now enter into wireframe by pressing a Z. You can see that we have entered into a wireframe by pressing a Z. This is the figure and how it looks. After that, make your method of display to solid as you can see in the figure. Now try to subdivide the mesh. You can subdivide it by pressing W on your keyboard, which gives a drop down list as shown. If you go for the subdivide and press on it, like the mesh would be subdivided. Go on doing subdivide and subdivide until you obtain this. Then you would be getting a mesh which is subdivided, and make subdivisions such that you go up to 16 by 16 or you see the figure as below. Now select the points using shift and the right click on your mouse. Select these points so that you could build a mountain from it by just pulling the points upward. It's like pulling the vertices of those points upwards in a three-dimensional view. Now press O on your keypad so that it gives like how much dimensions should be given to our mountains. If the circle is bigger, then our dimension of the mountain would be bigger. Basically go for a circle such that it covers all the points which you have selected. Selecting the circle dimension is nothing but deciding how much brush area do you require. Now this is the figure after we have pulled up the vertices. Now as you can see three vertices, you can adjust them in all the dimensions using X, Y and Z coordinates. Now go on to the orthogonal mode to obtain a view like this and press a Z to obtain a wire mode. After you obtain a wire mode of the image which you have created, go for adding materials as shown in the figure. You can add different materials. The materials could be like in this case the first material I'm going to add was a green color. So I can apply this to the whole mesh and the mountains which I have created over there, or I can also create multiple materials and apply it to different parts of mountains or the mesh created which acts as a surface. After this stage, go on with colors of your choice, render it including a camera, then you can obtain something like this. After this, what we did was we joined different modules which were made by our teammates and we have obtained the final result. Thank you.